Welcome to Papi La Vida show. Good evening, mi gente. This is Papi La Vida show. I'm your host, Papi, live from the magic island of Vitória in Brazil. And tonight, we'll be talking about the amazing, crazy, dangerous experience of living in Brazil. Without this fluffy talk, the most nice Brazilian friends talk to you, I will tell the fucking real ugly truth without any bullshit. So, from a perspective from someone was born, raised in Brazil, and I also lived for 7 years overseas. So, before I start, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and check out the Papi La Vida website. There is multi-language, so you can check it there in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. All the episodes are there, very organized for you. And if you also think this video might be very interesting to someone that you know, maybe a Brazilian or maybe a foreigner that wants to come to visit Brazil, please share this video. And for you guys that are in a rush, you know, you guys may be stuck in the traffic, maybe you guys gonna hit the gym tomorrow or today, depending where you're located. And check it out on Spotify, because we are there. Papi La Vida in English. Check it out on Spotify. You're gonna see only the Papi La Vida in English. But also, for those, every Tuesday at 11 p.m. Tonight we start a little bit late, but 11 p.m. Brazilian time, Papi La Vida in English. On Thursdays, Papi La Vida in Spanish at 8 p.m. Brazilian time. And Sundays, Wednesdays, and Friday, Papi La Vida in Portuguese, 8 p.m. Brazilian time. So, if you guys understand this language, like those of this language, please feel free to come to the show. Right, guys. So, let's roll the intro, right?
Ay, papi. Me encanta.
So, there we go. So, before we start, guys, let me give you a disclaimer here, all right, guys? Let me talk quickly explain what this channel is about, all right? So the purpose of this channel is to entertain, is to inform. Sometimes will be very funny and entertaining channel and entertaining videos. Other times will be very harsh and informative content, and but the main reason for this is in order for us to analyze, think, and hope we can become better people, better human beings. So that's what the show is about. And I have a lot of plans for the future, maybe vlogging around, you know, maybe travel around. But for the time being, we are very in quarantine time. So what I can say is discuss some information, some curiosity, you know. Sorry for my broken English. I have speaking English for quite a while, but I will try my best to make you understand what I'm saying. All right, guys? So let's see. Let's tell another thing. I know there will be a lot of Brazilians that, like me, because I'm Brazilian, they will disagree for the things, the stuff that we say here, all right? It's very embarrassing because when you expose like the dirty laundry in your country, it's some people get hurt, like some people like, I understand this. I do love Brazil. I do love my country. I'm proud to be Brazilian, but we have to agree we have a lot of shit to deal with here. And what I see a lot is a lot of Brazilians overseas painting a different Brazil that we actually face, But I will tell more in details soon. There is another thing. There is kind of unspoken rule in Brazil that the foreigners cannot say shit about Brazil. All right? And I disagree with this, because if something is bad, doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter where like whatever place you are. If you feel bad for this thing, you have to say, like you have to express yourself and put it out. But anyway, so since I'm a Brazilian, I guess I'm entitled to say shit about my country. If I'm not, fuck it, I will do anyway. All right? So that's it. So let's see. Another thing I want to say is people will have different perspectives based on social economics and maybe in some experience they're having living abroad. But I will tell a bit about myself, my upbringing, and maybe I make you decide if it was fair my conclusion or not, That's it. So let me explain the way I talk because maybe you're not getting it. I'm not kind. I don't like script, I try to make like some bullet points here to follow up and don't get loose, but probably I'll get loose very quickly because my way of thinking is very different, Like I like to have this conversation like a friend, like that's freely conversation. I don't like anything like script, even though I am a film director as well. And I don't like much documentary because it's not script. So but in this case, when it's reality, when it's not feature film, I prefer the reality thing, the talk 101, all right? So let me drink some water here before I start. So perhaps perhaps I cannot cover everything about Brazil in one single video. Maybe might have the part 2 as well. Let's see how it goes. And if you guys like it, please leave your like, leave your thumbs up, leave your comment below, that's very important to me, to keep it growing and to keep it moving forward with this project. All right, guys. So let's do it. I was born in São Paulo, the city of São Paulo, in the coast, actually. I was born in the coast of São Paulo in a small city called Cubatão. All right. Back in the 80s, Cubatown, for you to know, was the most, it's not one of the most, was the most polluted city in the world. It was even like named as a Valley of Death, because of so many pollution by the factories and refining oil industries there and so on, so on. And so I actually I was born there, and my family, I have a middle class family, and I raised in Cubatown. I lived there for 15 years, and what happened is, even though I came from a middle class, I studied in a public school. And I studied elementary and junior high in a public school in a very humble suburb. And why, Papi? Why did you study over there? Because I did have a family member who worked in the school, and one watched closely my education, my behavior at school. So that's the reason why I have studied in this public school in a very humble suburb. But so I had so many humble friends. I have so many poor friends. Some of them, they didn't have nothing to eat. The meals they provide at the school, sometimes there was the main meal for the day, So even though I had everything, I grew up in a middle class family. My family provides everything. I had a lot of classmates that didn't have that opportunity, didn't have that, and it was very tough for them. But I always have this humble upbringing, because my mom and my grandmother, who lived with me, they raised me that way, because they came from a very humble place. They are very poor in the back in the days. And I always was a person to share things, I used to invite my classmates to come into my suburb. And I still remember, my grandmother set up my video game at the garage, and invite my classmates to join and make a lot of food, and also invite my neighbors, friends, to mix together. So that's the Papi, that's my style. People that knows me, I always been that way. I like this mixture of cultures and social, classes and races. I don't like this, like these separate things, And I still remember also my grandmother, who I lived with back then. She received a lot of backlash, from the neighbors, because they say, why your grandson bringing boys from favela to our suburbs, some stuff that way, and my grandmother, man, the boys are doing nothing bad, you don't like, they are my guests, you know, so whatever you think, they are in my house, so who cares? Why you so care about it? And so then, yes, there was like my upbringing from there while I was living in São Paulo. But then I moved to Vitória. And like when I was 15, and like I moved to like a middle to upper class suburb. And was very different experience, you know, like, because then I start to study, like my high school, I've studied in private school. My high school and my university, I have studied in private. And you can see the differences, like, while back in São Paulo, we have, like, you know, friends that playing soccer barefoot, you know, on the streets, have so little, you know, and like, in the other hand, here you start to see different classes, you know, and my friends play tennis, you know, like they like their parents play golf in the weekends, you know. So of course, this like I think this experience, I learned so much with this experience, you know, to have this to see this range or socioeconomic range in my lifetime, you know. And but like it's a kind of course the things are much deeper than that, you know, like, I mean, but I think it's fair to say that, you know, I have a quite good point of view from the how I'm living in Brazil. Like, I know the things are very can be very deep than that, you know, like people can be very poor, and people can be very rich in Brazil, as I know some of you guys might know, you know. But I think I have more experience seeing these both sides of the same coin than most Brazilians, because it's like, as normally Brazilians said, Brazil is not for amateurs, you know. Like, be successful in Brazil is freaking hard, you know. Like, it's very hard, especially if you coming from a very lower class background. So that's very difficult, you know. So then so I lived here in Vitória for about 8 years with my family, and then I moved to Sydney, Australia, and lived for 6 years there. And I will talk in details about it. And after that, I didn't want to, like, my visa expired. Like, I've studied English, I did some courses there, and I didn't want to return to Brazil, and I tried to find another way. And I moved to Toronto, Canada, spent almost a year there. And then, like, before I went to Canada, I spent like few months in Europe, because my ex-girlfriend lived in Holland, so I could, like, have some view as well of the life in there. But anyway, Another thing I want to say is taste is very personal. Like each individual has your own taste, all right? And but what I think is most individuals, they have like kind of biases, like opinion, because or they didn't like, or they didn't live enough in the country, they didn't spend much time in the country, or maybe they went to the country and stay in a very, very comfortable position, very similar or sometimes better conditions that they lived in his own country, you know. So that's why I think some people, when they give you their opinion about which country is better, you know, I think there is a bit bias. So, but I will tell my point of view, you know. I will tell my experience from my eyes, from somebody that lived in Brazil, lived overseas, and returned to Brazil. Because now, after I went to Toronto and stay a year there, I decided to return to Brazil. Like, I can't say like against my will, but if I could stay in Australia because I love that place. But for that time, it was better go back to Brazil and reassess my plans, you know. And I'm still here, you know, like it's been already 7 years. And so I can give you, I think, a good view what's living Brazil and living overseas. I don't know many countries in the world, but I can give you my experience about Australia, maybe a little bit Toronto, and smaller a little bit about Netherlands, Holland. Anyway, I made some like bullet points here, maybe to guide me a little bit, but in fact, that's not gonna work much. And for that reason, I did a research, and I'm gonna show you here about. Let's check it out. This. So, I did a research about the methodology of the best countries in the world, and I check it out. What are like the criterias to determine that. Of course, as I said before, every individual have your personal opinion, and maybe sometimes he's lucky and sometimes he's unlucky to have a good or bad experience in a country, you know. But I will try to be fair enough. I will go all over this criterias and give me an opinion about Brazil comparing to other countries like Australia. I think it's gonna be fair enough. So let's see. So first one that they use as a methodology is advantage. How adventure is the country to be considered one of the best countries in the world. So, inside the adventure, there is a friendly, funny, pleasant climate, scenic and sexy. All right, let's go to the topic. So I think Brazil is very friendly country overall. I mean, adventure, like having parties. The parties here are amazed. Like, because we don't have like in Australia, for example, they shut down the place very early, you know, in the nights. Like, I remember by the time that I was living there, like in 2018 and until 2013, was at 3 o'clock, everything shuts down, like every club shuts down. But here in Brazil, go all night long till the sun goes up, pretty much. Whatever, if the party is on the beach, whatever is the party is inside the club. A lot of times you get out of the club and it's already daylight. So it's, I think, you know, it's very adventurous, like about this fun. But like some good points of this is like who makes this country very friendly and fun. Of course, you probably already know it's the people. So the people in Brazil, they are very good in general. They are very warm people. They are very friendly. They like, as of like, I'm not counting like the bad people, right? I'm not counting the scammers. They try to trick you on the streets, or taxi drivers that try to trick you with, you know, scam you with like, you know, or I'm not telling this. I'm telling like the average Brazilian, they are very friendly. They take you as their own, you know, like, especially if you're a foreigner. They really embrace you. Come here, come to my house, let's cook, let's have food, you know. Let's have some beers here, your beer. You can have my drinks and stuff. We are like that, you know. We are like that. And I can tell even like some experience that I have comparing to in Australia. Because back in Australia, I was a manager in a student house. I was a manager. I was the responsible to find like people to the house, to keep the house organized. And I have a very restricted criteria to find these people, because one of them is not having people from the same, like more than 2 people from the same country inside the house. So we had like 3 houses which had like this backyard, was shared backyard. So 7 people in each house was 21 overall. And no more than 2 people from the same country. Sometimes we'll have some exceptions, but normally, or like no more than 2 people. And there was few times like very awkward. Like, for example, we see like some Europeans having some dinner or some food like together, you know. And sometimes like someone just arrived, some new like tenant just arrived in the house, or maybe somebody that already lived in the house come in the backyard and sit around. And I'm not gonna tell every time, but most time the Europeans, they didn't offer the food. Like, there were like a lot of food on the table. They were eating like, and like didn't was so nice to say, listen, do you want some? Can you have some? Not even want some. Can you have some? Take this, take that. This rarely happen. And for us, not only Brazilians, but for us, Latinos in general, that almost didn't happen. Every time I have like any kind of confraternization, any kind of dinner or food, I didn't even ask if you want to have my food. I just say, please sit, get your plate, the barbecue is there, the beers are there, even though like I understand like the drinks are very expensive and maybe everybody want to have your own, but for us Latinos and Brazilians, we cannot have like drinking and or at least have food next to you without offering you food. So that was awkward, man. That was horrible. So here in Brazil, that never going to happen. Like I can say never, but rarely will happen. You guys gonna join to like barbecue party, whatever party, please join us, having food. No, do I have to give you some money? No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. After, another day, you make your food and invite us. It's just like that, It's just like that. So, seeing this perspective, I can tell, about the Brazilian people. But it's not all like this, it's not every Brazilian like this. And I will tell, Brazilians are good as individuals, not as a group. So let me explain. Like Brazilian as individual, 101. I will be nice to you, Come here. This is my place. But when I say is a group, like as a society, we shit, man. We are shit, And differently from the other countries like Australia or Europe, they think more as a group in a society. Brazilians are very selfish. They think them first in this case. When we talk about groups, large groups, not small groups, not like a small party. I will give you an example. If you are on the beach, alright, you're on the beach and you have like some Coke, like no drugs, but I mean like can of Coke, and you finish the Coke, and you see the guy next to you also drink a Coke. You don't know the guy, and you see that the guy left the Coke in the sand on the beach, right there. The bean is just right next to him, but he left on the beach. And I think like maybe Australians or people from overseas, Europeans especially, I don't know what they would do it, but I guess they would say something. But if they don't say anything, they will at least grab his Coke, grab the guy's the Coke can, grab his Coke can, grab the guy's Coke can, and throw in the bin. But here in Brazil, most people, they will look at the guy and they say, if the guy left the can, I can do the same. Of course, I'm giving like this can happen. No, actually this happen all the time. But I'm giving a small example. For many examples you can list, the Brazilian behavior. It's just like this. Because he can do it, I can do it too. He shit in the street, I can shit too, man. You know. So, as individuals, we are great. As a large group, as a society, we suck. And especially at this time, in the like quarantine and pandemic time, I pretty much lost my hope in Brazil. Pretty much. You know, you guys probably watching the news, you know. People already gave a fuck. It's partying everywhere, you know. People are dying here. People are fucking dying, you know. People are in the hospital without cylinder of O2, you know, oxygen. They can have oxygen. Do you know what I mean? It's not even like, it's not like even the whole like device, you know, like the whole, the simplest oxygen people cannot have in here in some states, like Amazon, in the Amazon like state, people are dying. Just like, man, we don't have oxygen. Sorry, but your mother gonna die. That's it. And you still can see people like playing around and having partying around, don't giving a fuck, you know. So like, I keep imagining, you know, like, I keep imagining like, man, if this virus kill a lot of people in the world, in Brazil a lot. But I was like thinking, if this virus was more deadly, we are fucked. Like, we probably will be one of the first countries, like the death toll will be like so high, like we're gonna vanish, like we gonna like left only few people in the country, because you know the whole country goes down, man, because people don't take the thing serious, you know. So it's about education as well, you know. It's all about education, and I know what you think. So in the same category of adventure, so they say friendly, fun. Yes, Brazil it is. Pleasant climate. So Brazil is very good for the climate, you know. It's a very good country. We don't have earthquakes here. We don't have hurricanes here. We don't have these catastrophes like this crazy climate change, you know. We are a very large country. If you go up to the north, it's very hot. If you go to the south, it's very cold and can like snow. Mostly, we are hot country. I live in Vitória, which is an incredible sunny weather, which I love, is my preference. And so like mostly in the entire year season, you know, it's hot here. Like even in winter, you can go to the beach in Vitória. But I understand some people might not like, you know. But in general, they like the climate, like earthquake and stuff, we don't have it, so that's good. Sexy, I'd say, yeah, I guess, you know what I mean. It's actually the Brazilian branding, it's very good, you know. Let me tell a bit about my background as well, like in my as a job, as a work. I have a marketing and advertising agency. I stopped for the service for now, but it's called Phoenix Studios. You can check in the link below. So I know about marketing, entertainment, and now I'm very focused in my like in this channel, which I like the most. I'm a kind of like I like to talk, I like to interact with people, you know. I like to have like thoughtful conversation, you know, and think about it, and like, you know, as I said in the beginning, try to become a better human being, you know. So like this, I like having the conversation, you know. So Brazilian branding are very good. Like I think everybody knows Brazil, you know. And like even in sports, and we like not only soccer, of course we stand out in soccer, but we like when you watch the Olympics, of course we are not the first ones, but we are always like in the top 5 or something, you know, like, and we have like as a brand, you know, as a brand, we are very well known. We have beautiful women, you know, beautiful people, like men as well. Like, you know, men are very handsome as well. And we have like very thoughtful people, very, you know, but well, let's continue. So let's jump again here. So the next point is a citizenship. All right. So in this topic is like cares about human rights, cares about the environment, gender equality, progressive, religious freedom, respects proprietary rights, trustworthy, well-distributed political power. So there we go, guys. Now I know I already say a lot of good things about Brazil. Things start to get very nasty now. Yes. So when it comes to this topic, citizenship, let's start with cares about human rights. Okay. Like not so much, all right? Because, you know, we have like very prejudiced. I think is that how they pronounce prejudice. We are very prejudiced like country, you know, like in general. Of course, as a like in US have this like problem, the racism and, you know, social like a lot of, you know, black men like die in Brazil, of course. Unfortunately, you know, I say of course because that happening unfortunately so many places, you know, in US, in Europe, like immigrants in Europe. But like cares about human rights is not as awful or as some countries, you know, in Middle East, like facing war and all stuffs. But we do have a lot of differences like here, you know, like about human rights, you know, especially like in favelas, like in slums, where people get killed, like innocent people get killed a lot, you know, just for, you know, bias point of view, you know. But like it's not as much as normally the media picture Brazil, all right? It's not like as much like, you know, some countries in Africa which like the human rights, like, or in Middle East, which with the human rights, like there is no human rights at all, you know. We have some cases, probably a little more cases than US, but yeah, it's pretty much about that. Cares about the environment, like we don't. Unfortunately, we don't, you know. And as you guys see in the media, we don't. And this involves corruption a lot, and it involves education a lot, you know, as all Brazilians together, as I said before, you know, like I gave you the example from the beach. So it's not only about like it's the politicians' problems, you know, is a president problem. Yeah, of course he takes a lot of part of this. The law, and I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later. The law in Brazil, it's the justice in Brazil, it's a shit, my friend. Actually, let's talk about this now. Like, you know, I mean, we talk about human rights. Law in Brazil, it's a joke for the other countries. It's pretty much like if I say like, of course, like you can see atrocities in many countries in the world, you know. In US, you're gonna see a lot of atrocities, you know. In Europe, you know. But one gets down to find, like, to punish somehow, or the punish the responsible for this. That is no, like, the punishment is a joke. Let me give an example. Like, we had a couple of years ago, like back in 2006 or something. Yeah, 2006. We have like a very national crime, like very, which is about Richthofen. Suzanne Richthofen was a very upper class girl, rich girl, and her her was convicted to convince the boyfriend and the brother-in-law to kill their parents. Like, she was 21, she wanna get the, you know, get like, you know, freedom and the money from the family and stuff. And like they like broke in the house. Like they didn't broke, she opened pretty much the house. And I think they killed that, like they kill with the bat, you know, like the some like baseball bat, you know, like was like brutal, you know, brutal. And the maximum you can, like, the maximum penalty you can get, like, incarcerated is 30 years. So it doesn't matter how brutal is your crime. You might be sentenced to 100 years. Like one of the, I think it was a mayor in Rio or governor, like corruption. Like in Rio, there's like 3 or 4 governors, they are in jail for corruption. Rio, I don't know what's going on in Rio, like it's crazy stuff there. But anyway, one of them got the record. I think he got like 150 years, like in total, for all the crimes he committed. But he can stay maximum to 30 years in jail. And I will tell you more. the justice is so unfair that you can one third of the sentence, or like, in other words, 10 years. When you complete about 10 years, if you get 30 years, which is the maximum, and it's very rare to get, like sometimes they get 28, 26, If you get 30 years, when you get the one third of the sentence, you have this, like, how can I say? You have like this. You pretty much, what I want to say is, you stay half time in jail. Like, you stay like working outside and just sleep in the jail. Pretty much at that. So this girl, she was convicted to order the murder of the both parents brutally. Like the parents, they gave everything to this girl. Like, she was a rich girl, and was in 2006. She's already going out, She's already out. She just have to sleep in the jail. That's it. Is that good enough? And I tell you more. Listen to this, guys. Guys gonna laugh. In the Father's and the Mother's Day, the law, our Brazilian law, allows her to go out and spend the Father's and the Mother's Day somewhere else. By the law. Can you believe this? Another crime. There's another crime about a father got the daughter from another wife, and he started to living with another woman. They got separate and started to live with another woman, which is her stepmother. In that case, the girl's stepmother. The girl got 5 years old. The mother, the stepmother, apparently killed the girl. Like, they choked the girl, and to pretend that that wasn't happening, they cut the protection in the window, because they live in the 8th or the 6th floor, and they throw the girl from there, man. They're like the father and the stepmother got like 26 years or something. It was at the same time as the girl, the Richthofen. So they're already out. Like, they kill a very innocent girl, 5 years old, and they are already out. And guess what? In the children's days, they can go out, because, like, it's a special day, So Mother's, Father's Day, Children's Day, Christmas, and New Year's Eve, they have this, we call, I don't know how they call it in English, but it's kind of induction day. I think it's an induction. I don't know if is that right. Is that they they can stay the night out. Let's say that, how crazy it is. How crazy is this? Tell me. Leave in the comments below. So that's about our justice, in Brazil. That's a little bit about our justice. There's so many, like Brazil is a very dangerous country. All right. So many times, like, I heard like my ex-girlfriend, which is Dutch, or a couple of foreigners back in Australia saying, I'm going to do a trip in Brazil or in South America. It's gonna be very nice, backpacking there. Like, as a Brazilian, man, who really, like, I know the things, like, from the favela side, inside, upper to like the more upper class. I know the inside out, like I don't recommend it for no foreign, like for any foreigners come to Brazil without knowing at least some locals, Or if you guys come, you guys have to be very low profile, like me. Some of you guys can really pretend as a Brazilian, like every time I hanging out like with some foreigners, like they doing like some like exchange program here, and I'm at in the parties or some stuff like this and start to hanging out. And we ended up like going to very dangerous places. And I still remember one day, like, we were very like late night and got a bus to go to some friend house, like in the middle of a favela. And I was like with like 5 foreigners, like, and like most of them are like South Americans, which kind of okay, but it's still foreigners, so they're not locals. And I was very worried about them. And I just say, listen, don't say anything, like you don't speak Portuguese, so just pretend you guys, we are very look-alike, like you can like very be low profile here, but like some foreigners, they cannot, like, as my girlfriend, she's ex-girlfriend actually, as Dutch, she was very blonde, very white, blue eyes. Like, we are very mixed culture, like something about Brazil, we are very mixture, like, because we have many colonies in Brazil. Like, we have a German colony, we have a Japanese colony, so you're gonna find a plenty of Asians here, plenty of like blonde, blue eyes, very Caucasian, and stereotype, like European stereotype. And we have a lot of mixture, here. But like, different from Australia, like the appearances for the people in Brazil are like, because everyone are Brazilian here, everybody are Brazilian, because this is like the 3rd or 4th generation. They don't even speak the language of the grandparents and stuff, like. So like, the Japanese immigrants, they full Brazilians, like they look like Asians, but they are not. They're full Brazilians. They behave like Brazilians. They don't speak Japanese. Different than in Australia, because they are like the 1st or 2nd generation, so they still speak like the mother language. They still attach to the culture, like the mother culture. So they're very different, like, so because of that, if you see the guy like look like Asian but speak very, very like perfect Portuguese and stuff, he's Brazilian. He doesn't understand nothing about it, the grandparents' culture or language, or blonde, blue eyes, or black, or So we have like this mixture in our blood. That's a fact. You may or might not know. So let's continue here. So yeah, as I said, the environment, we don't care much, not only because of our, president, and he got a lot of shit about this, but it's not about him, it's also about every single Brazilian. Like, of course, I cannot generalize, but the most Brazilians, unfortunately, they don't care more about the environment. They might say they cares, but their behavior is completely different, man. Gender equality. So about the gender equality, Brazil a lot of years behind still. They are changing though. They are changing. Because when I returned from Australia was back in 2014, it was in the moment of changing, like about like transsexual, gays, lesbians, and like women, men, like straight, like about women, men, and they are changing. Like you can see like people coming out, and speaking out. So that changed like recently, like 2014, 2015, very recently. But I remember when I was in Australia in 2008, was already the normal thing in Australia. Like you see like couples from the same sex like kissing around or hugging hands, It was very natural in Australia. It was like, this is a part of our lives, it's normal, And yeah. So religious freedom. So as well, we're evolving, like about religious. Of course, not only Brazil, but most South Americans, they still Christians. There are a lot of Christians, different than Europe, because I see a lot of atheists in Europe, a lot of them, because we talk this back in Australia, I talk with a lot of people. My ex-girlfriend, she's atheist. Pretty much the whole family is atheist. And but here the majority in South America is not only Brazil, but the entire South America. They are Christians, but they are all changing. People start to choose different religions, and some of them non-believers as well start to non-believing more in religion and stuff. I can see a lot of changing. Respects the property rights. That's no way, man. That's not happening, and I don't think it's gonna happen soon. Because what happened here in Brazil, I want to find the word here. The word that I'm looking for is the word I'm looking for is the oversight law. There's exceptions. I don't think that way, I never, because my upbringing was very different, like, not because I raised in a middle class, but I think because I really raised in a humble family, and so yeah, trustworthy. We generally we are very trustworthy, I think. Like, we are very loyal, But of course, loyalty is something very depends of, each individual. You're gonna find shit individuals in other countries as well, not very loyal. But I think in this case, trustworthy is about is a country that, let me see. I think not the way I'm saying. It's not about this. It's about, in this case, it's about honesty overall in the country. I think it's about like, I don't think so. It's about, do the right thing, I think. And like after I'm gonna tell about the services and stuff that Brazil are very shit, and the taxes, there is a topic, further on, because man, that's a crazy. Now let's move on. Well distributed political power. Let's say, I think yes, we very well distributed political power. Like we have the left wing and the right wing, and we have the middle wing as well, different than US. I think US only have the left and right. We have the middle wing, and I'm not really into politics, all right? I'm gonna give like a briefly talk about it, but we have many parties, I know US have only 2 parties, I think. I don't know about Australia, but I think it's the same, I guess. In Brazil, we have many political parties, like many, man. Like, so like when it has to vote for a president or governor or something, you don't have only 2 options, you have like 5, 6, 10 options, that, so it's a crazy, but it's like well distributed, like it's well distributed political power. The problem is not this. The problem is the politicians that is shit, and that, man, I will tell, only a very, very small percentage of the politicians, they are very trustworthy. They are very like honest, The majority, it's a shit. They get very well paid. They have a lot of like, how can I say? A lot of like, I don't know how to explain this in English, but they have a lot of like, besides the wages they get a car, they get security, they get apartment, they get a lot of this, well, and like they said, the bell and whistles, man. I think they got the whole package, like they have money, like they get paid to pay, like to put the gas in the car and all. There's so many bell and whistles they can get, and most of them, they gonna suck that like a fucking juice, man. Like, man, I'm gonna get everything I want. There's few of them, they resent to these bell and whistles, They say, listen, I just want to get my wages, I have my, like, I want to pay for my apartment, I don't want to, like, the government pay for my apartment, I don't want to the government pay for my car or for my gas. But the most of them, they are, man, they even have the money to buy the suits, and the tie. And man, there's so many, the flights, and man, it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. Maybe one day I bring like somebody that well know about the politics to clarify more in details for you guys. But it's like, it's crazy. So let's move on for the next topic. Is cultural influences. So cultural influences, we are very rich. We are very, very rich, you know. Like, and they say, like, specifically, cultural significant in the terms of entertainment, fashionable, happy, has an influential culture, modern and prestigious and trendy. As I said, Brazil is very branding country. It's a good brand, you know, like as a someone that is a creative director, and a marketing specialist, I can say Brazil is a good brand, you know, and we have a rich culture. It's a mix of cultures, you know, and because it's so large, and each state of Brazil, they have their own culture, you know, based on the immigration, pretty much. Like in the south, you can see a lot of Germans immigration, Italians as well. So we can see a little bit of this. In the north, you can see more like Africans, immigrations, African and Caribbean immigration. So you can see more like this kind of flavor, you know. And we are very fashionable as well. Like I used to even play with this, because for my experience, like, of course there is exceptions, but I mean everything I say here is in general, is overall. Like Europeans normally, like Brazilians, they are not only good looking, but they dress very well. I think like the culture, like the culture is very similar to US. We pretty much is a blueprint. The US is a blueprint for like this entertain and the fashionable and culture in Brazil, you know, like we are very fashionable, and we got you, like we like to dress very well. And something I noticed, like example, like the countries that I visit, like or I know people from, like Argentina or Chile, you know, they are more like, they have a more European style, which they don't care much about. Like, I mean, of course, there are Milan, there's the Italians, they dress very well, they like to, you know, dress up. But in general, Europe, they are very casual, you know. They not like care much about the looking, you know. They care more about to be comfortable, you know. But Brazil, no. They like the shining thing. They like the looking, you know. That's very important, you know, like, so for my experience, and if you agree with me, please leave it the comments below. Like, I know, like in Europe, the Italians, I think they have a more similar culture to Brazil, and of course we do have a lot of Italian immigrants here. But in case of the looking, they very care about the looking, you know, even about like the aesthetics, looking, like the plastic surgeries and stuff is very high rates. So the dressing, you know, dress up. I know the Italians, only the Italians I know that they cares about a lot, you know, in Europe. Here in South America, another country very similar to Brazil, it's Venezuela. Not now, because Venezuela is facing a very terrible problem, like with the economy and stuff, and the politics and stuff. But normally they cares about the looking as well, especially the women's. They have a lot of like the women pageants, you know. They have this culture about around the you know, the looking. So Venezuelans from Venezuela, Colombians are very similar to Brazil, even though they don't speak the same language. We are very similar. So we care about the looking, a lot of plastic surgeries, a lot of like dress up, like branding, like expensive clothing, showing off, very show off. So I think this is a very and like in the case like Chileans, Argentinians, they look more like European style. They cares about the comfortable thing, They are more casual. So happy and has influential culture, modern and prestigious. I think Brazil is very modern, very modern. Like compared to some of the countries around here, South America, we are very modern. We are very on the edge of the technology, but we still very far from the West and Australia and Europe. We are very far from Europe and Australia and the US. Like I still remember like when I moved from like Australia from Brazil to Australia, like we see so many different things and technologies. Like we say like, man, we in different planet, man, pretty much. But it's still, when you compare to other developing countries, maybe Middle East or few countries in Asia, we might like we like more modern and fashionable and trendy and stuff. All right, let's go to the next topic. So entrepreneurship. So it's complicated again to Brazil, man. Entrepreneurship, like they said, connects to the rest of the world, educated population, entrepreneurial, innovative, provides easy access to the capital, money, I guess, skilled labor force, technological expertise, transparent business practice, well-developed infrastructure, well-developed legal framework. Right. I can say that maybe innovative, not because we want to be innovative, but because we have to be innovative. Because we don't have none of that before, this list before. So let's put it one by one. Connects to the rest of the world. Okay. I mean, yeah, maybe this is as well included. Like, we have high quality internet. Like, I mean, how can I say high quality? I mean, I'm saying from a middle class perspective. But of course, a lot of Brazilians, they don't have internet. They don't have computers. They don't have mobile phones. But I think, in general, even people poor, they have mobile, and maybe they don't have like monthly internet, but they have like 4G internet. And even though, and against to the next topic, educated population, even though they don't use the internet for the education, mostly they use for the entertainment, because we don't have education very well. Otherwise they would use that better. they still have the internet. So that's the truth. Entrepreneurial, innovative. We start to become entrepreneurial and innovative. Innovative, we always become like this. Because when I say to do things like provide easy access to capital, it's very hard. Like, you know, let me explain something. Like, it's even over to the other topic, but I'm gonna just put it in this topic. Open a business here in Brazil, it's an insane thing. I think that like the currently like big companies they have in Brazil, they don't shut down because I think if they shut down, they're gonna lose money. But I don't think they have a lot of profit, you know. Because the taxes in Brazil, the taxes is so high. It's so high. Like service and the products. And like the major taxes in Brazil are in the products. So that affects the most the lower classes, you know. Because they won't have to buy food, you know. They won't have to buy like, you know, the food, and this affects a lot because they could put the taxes in different ways. I know some countries in Europe they have like one fee taxes based on, I don't know. Man, Brazil they take taxes whatever they want to take, man. Like they take from your work, they take from the products. Like the products are very high. Like I mean, I don't know like exactly because vary by the product, but like, man, like I give you like a very like example, an iPhone, you know, an iPhone here, they're like the latest iPhone, like iPhone. Let's put it here. Let's search here. Like the latest is 12, right? Yeah, 12. So iPhone 12 here, it's about like iPhone 12 Pro, 128 gigabytes. It's 7.5 reals, 7,500 reals. So there it's about like it's around maybe $1,500, $2,000, around $2,000, I think. Like it's insane. Like if you're gonna import, you know, like if you're gonna import, like, you know, if you're gonna import like money from the like money, if you're gonna import a product in Brazil, it's like, man, it's 60%, man, only for the taxes, not even the shipping, you know. The shipping fee is not included, only the tax. So you get the price of the product you buy. First, you're gonna have the hit first from the dollar, because the exchange from the real to dollar, it's very high. Like at the moment, February 2021, like $1 is 5.5 reals. And like pretty much in Brazil, like we have a lower wages. We have a lower wages but we buy stuffs that are more expensive than like US or Australia or other countries in the world. It's a very insane even like we have lower wages, but our products is more expensive than other countries in the world. So it's just like it's a crazy stuff, man. Like it's like insane. Anyway, so it's like continuing here. Provide easy access to the capital in the case money. Like, man, it's very hard. Like, because you know, if you don't have a like, how can I say? Even like the banking fees, you know, are so high. You know, like to get a capital to start a business, it's just you're gonna get crazy. Like you're gonna get insane. You go in you dig a hole. You know, you never get out. Skilled labor force, man, is not skilled, man. Like our labor here, our services are horrible. So let's put in this perspective. Again, our wages are very low. The products that the company sells are very high, but are not very high because of the value, like the value to spend to make that thing or to provide that service, but because of the taxes. So you're gonna pay a very expensive service and products in Brazil, and I guess what? The products are very bad quality, and their service are very shit, man. Shit service, man. People are not training at all. Not training at all. People like you see like it's insane. I was like making like a script to tell about a life in Brazil. Like I was trying to write something like I'm gonna tell like how, like, because it's already 1.5 hours, and here is already getting 2 in the morning. So I'm getting already sleep, you know. My energy is getting down already. So maybe I have to continue this topic in another day. Alright, guys. But to give you a little bit of the average life in Brazil in a nutshell, you know. Of course, some people might say, you know, look, man, yeah, you like how can I say? Sorry, man. I'm a bit sleepy already. I can't thinking, man. People might say I'm like overstate, you know, like I'm overstate what I'm saying, like, you know, oversaying, you know, like, I mean, it's too much what I'm saying. It's not like this, but that easily can happen in a Brazilian life. Like, it's not something rare. It's something like you're gonna hear a lot from the people. But I'll give you an example. So let's say you go to work, all right? You go to work, and maybe work in an office, and you go in the office and all right. So a lot of Brazilians have a car, but maybe you don't have a car. You go to the bus, and like you know, you go to the bus waiting for the bus, and the bus never gonna get in time, all right? And after, when it gets in time, the bus is fucking packed, and you will see a lot of like maybe elderly women, you know, or maybe a pregnant woman is standing while a kid from high school, a kid, no, sometimes a kid, sometimes just like I don't know, a 20 years old, any person, like young enough to stand up and give the place to the elderly or the pregnant women. A lot of times you're gonna see people pretend they are sleeping, like pretend like just to don't give the place. So you see that thing, and you start to get angry, you know, like start to get mad. But you're trying to get a positive vibe. If you're in Vitória, probably gonna be a sunny day. If you're in São Paulo, probably gonna be a rainy day, so you can put it there on top. And after the big busy buzz and stuff, and all the shit you see and watching it, two boys in the back of the bus putting the music very loud, like funk, like Brazilian funk. They look very, how can I say, very ghetto, you know, very gangster, you know. What's up? What's going on? What are you looking at? You know. And like they pump the fucking music out, like who cares, you know? If you have any problem, talk to me. And okay, fair enough. I'm not saying that all these people that playing funky behave like this, but I'm saying in an average, you know. And maybe one of them pull a fucking gun and say, "This is a robbery. Give me all your mobiles." And the other friend grab the all mobiles, put in the bag, steal the bag. So you already lose your mobile in the way to work, all right? So the bus driver going to stop to the police station, so you can, you know, make your statement. And the police guys, they like, all right, let's do it, you know. Okay. What's your name? Okay, what's your and what's mobile? What's your mobile model and stuff? Okay. And like, you look at his face and he's like, this, if he was a good policeman, you know. Because if he wasn't, they just gonna look, there's so many people in the bus, and they said, I'm not gonna take the. I'm not gonna take the note from all these people. He's just gonna say, there is any injury here? No. Okay. Fair enough. Goodbye. Hasta luego. So you continue your ride to work. Very pissed. If in São Paulo and rainy, you're fucked. Probably wet and cold and without mobile. And you can explain to your boss why you're getting late. So your boss already get pissed off because he already can made the salary, can made your wage, because the government fucking up the tax so high, and he's struggling to keep up the business, and he already pissed off. And you know, you're gonna tell, yeah, what's happening and stuff, and yeah, you know, you got robbed and stuff, and yeah, okay, fuck that shit and stuff. Yeah, let's work. So you're already pissed, you work and stuff, and you're already tired, you know. You lost the shit, do the mobile, and you trying to work, maybe the computer at your work is not working, you know. It's so fucked up. And at the work, they call the IT guys, and the IT guys go there and say, listen, I don't know how that works. I don't know how to fix it. And say, what the fuck? And yeah. And maybe there's somebody's birthday there, so you celebrate with your colleagues, you know, workmates, and give you a little bit of happiness, you know. They make some fun, you know, some jokes, you eat some cake, and after you go home, they like, okay, I'm alive, I didn't die. And you go home and say, let's watch maybe a Netflix or something. And the internet's not working. And you're fucked. Okay? I lost my mobile. I lost the internet, the fucking internet. I don't have a mobile to call the fucking internet provider. Okay. Let's look at a landline. Maybe I'm going to my mother's place to call from the landline. And call them, and they make you wait for maybe half hour, for maybe 1 hour, and you are already so pissed, but you try to control yourself as much as you can, and you try to say, listen, why am I waiting so long? So the girls or the guy or whatever say, sorry, there is not much I can do. What's your problem? The problem, that's my internet's not working. And I pay the bill correctly in the day. And like, okay, let's wait. And make you wait for another half hour. And then you're already so frustrated. And listen, I waited for a fucking an hour. Now I'm waiting for a fucking 1 hour. Or half hour. Can you fix the problem? She says, sorry, I can't fix. And why cannot fix? Because a general problem in your location. So when that's gonna go back to work? We don't know. So how that possible? You know, it's already the third time in this month that happened. Sorry, there's nothing we can do, she said. And okay. So you hang up. But I'm telling you this, for a Brazilian that already have like, he's already very calm. He's already very used to this whole jungle thing, the craziness. Because most Brazilians, the blood boils. We are not very calm people. And I understand why. And if you live here, you will understand too. Some Brazilians, when they wait for 1 hour, the first thing they tell is, what the fuck I'm waiting for 1 hour? I'm paying for this service. My bill is correctly paid. And when that happened, the guys in another line, they just hang up after 1 hour waiting. So you have to wait for another hour. You have to call again and wait for 1 more hour and get to another caller, you know, another another guy, the assistant, you know, service assistant, you know. So no fucking internet, you know. So no, like, you already pissed with the everything, you know, that's going on. And so what we're gonna do now? A fucking, you know. So you're gonna watch a TV, you know. Maybe a local TV, you know. And when you watch a TV, you're gonna see how many people die around your location. How many people die overall in Brazil. And that's so funny because I used to say that in Australia, it's so funny because like we see like this death situations in Australia, but it's like pretty much like when they have like the neighbors fighting, stabbing or something. It's just one case and like they make like the news the entire day or maybe the entire week, sometimes the entire month, talk about that situation. But Brazil, it's so many shit, man. It's so many shit. So many people dying. Not stabbing only. You're gonna be stabbed if the guy is a very shit like killer. Because normally it's just guns, man. It's a fucking gun. And you're gonna watch the news like somebody just died somewhere else in the city. Another wife died there. There's a wife got, you know, stabbed by the husband, and now we have like the third woman that died in this week by the boyfriend or the husband. And so this week, like we have like 15 people died in your location. Like, I mean, my city or something, you know, like not even Brazil, like, because Brazil is like we are in the hundreds, you know. So you look at that thing and it's like you start to get like very sad, you know, like fuck that shit, you know. Like, that's insane, man. It's the news in Brazil, it's all about tragedy. It's about tragedy. It's about sometimes, and like that make me like, I mean, the tragedy doesn't make me cry. we all Brazilians, we already used to this, you know. Unfortunately. But for you can see how crazy it is. I cry with the good stories. I cried. I normally don't cry much, you know, like I don't remember last time I cried. But when I cry in the poetic commercials, in the Coca-Cola commercials for Christmas. I cry in the story about the like the guy trying to go to the Olympics, you know, and didn't have any like shoes to run the competition, and he trained in other track and field. They train like sometimes in the desert, like in the fucking sand, like hot sand, and like when the guy achieved to go to the Olympic Games, you know, and the guy got like a third place. He lost it for like for US and like Great Britain. And they got in third place. And the Brazilians looked like fuck, what, he didn't win. And that the Brazilians are like, oh man, he didn't win. Man, the infrastructure, like there is so many Brazilians that I'm very proud of, you know, like somebody that I like he didn't have a humble upbringing like Ayrton Senna, the F1 pilot that died tragically. He came from a upper class, of course, to play that sport. It's not for like poor people. But he did it like it was very humble, you know. And like I said, I'm ashamed for the Brazilian behavior, you know. It's embarrassing, you know, for some stuff that we behave, you know, like. But I'm like somehow I'm very proud to be Brazilian as a survivor, you know, like, because if I have to quickly explain Brazil to a foreigner in a very simple way, I would say Brazil is a jungle. It's literally a jungle. Like, I know a lot of people like picture Brazil like the Amazon forest, you know, and jungle and stuff, and like it's not like that. Like, we are very metropolitan and cosmopolitan cities and big cities and stuff, but the way we behave is just like in jungle. It's every man for himself, you know, like. And but like somehow I'm very proud, you know, like, because like I understand why we so like we are very like we say like Brazilians, we put the hearts in the things, you know, like we like to fight in every sense, you know, like we do fight a lot, you know, like even when we were wrong, unfortunately, we fight. Like you see fights all the time in Brazil, like people screaming all the time and stress all the time. I think Brazil is one of the stressful countries in the world. I think. So let me check. Stressful countries in the world. Top 10. It's like 2008. Let me check here. I want to check this. I'm very curious. 2020 I found here. Let's see. Okay. Where is Brazil? Can't believe Brazil's not here. It says Brazil's not here. And they even point Sydney here in the 11th place. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. Because listen, like we Brazilians, like we are very. It's. Can you understand the lifestyle of Brazil? Like, it's crazy. Like, you know, I just picture like a day in Brazil about, you know, this. We might say, ah man, this too much. Of course, maybe like it's a bit unusual to have all this shit at the same day. But that can easily happen. That can easily happen in Brazil. It's not something like very rare. Like, it's just like I guess like this whole shit packet in one day. I would give you like 10% that can happen. 10% is a lot, you know. But normally, this is distributed like over the week, you know. This whole shit happened over the week. Maybe robbed in like in the Monday and Tuesday, you get like a pack, you know, like bus pack, you know, and on Thursday and then Wednesday you get like, you know, some shit happening, you know, like it's sad, but like when I say, you know, I'm proud to be Brazilian because being a Brazilian gave me the strength to become a more, you know, strong man, strong person, you know. And like we Latinos in general, we face those so many shits in our, you know, countries that when we go to like America, US, you know, go to Australia, there is a fucking, you know, there is a fucking Disneyland for us, you know. We do their shit like smiling, man, you know. Like every Brazilian, man, we go on the streets like fear, like with fear, like we always watching, like we have this like 60 cents all the time, like, and it's something that when you're living in Australia you just forget after a while, you know. You just like, wow, it's okay. I'm like 3 o'clock in the morning, walk in the empty street, it's fine. You know? Brazil, no, man. In the daylight, you get scared, man. In the bus stop, woof, it's a feeling, man. It's a real feeling. Because a boy can just, you know, very like drop by, point a gun, sometimes a fake gun, but are you going to make sure it's fake? You don't want to try that, you know. So any thanks, man. Yeah, he's saying it's very much like Nigeria, you know. Ani is my friend from Nigeria. Appreciate, bro. I appreciate if you go on the YouTube, man. Give it a thumbs up as well there. I will appreciate he talking to me on Instagram live. But yeah. So like, you know, it's hard, man. And it's so insane because sometimes I'm thinking like, of course, I cannot compare in the war countries, like countries that are having war at the moment. Like would be like very unthinkable. I'm comparing, but sometimes I think like with myself, like if it worse, like is that bad? How bad it is? Like I mean, it's terrible. Like war, like man, like bombs, like dropping bombs in the thing, you know. But I'm thinking about this because in Brazil, you have this sense, like there's many good things that make you have this sense of safety. Like you have like the parties, you have the beautiful girls, and you when you start to get in the vibe, you get hit, man. It's just like this, you know. You get fucking hit in the face. Like, it's like that. And sometimes I think, like, when you are in a war zone, like, when you are in a war country, like, you alert all the time. You know that things can go very bad, you know. And people just pretty much lost their hope, you know, like, they're just trying to survive. And you know, sadly, people like maybe just waiting for like, I don't know, the worst can happen and just like, you know. And I think sometimes, man, Brazil, it's like it's like it's man, it's I don't know how can I explain, man. Like it was like you die slowly, you know. It's just like sometimes I think maybe I'm stupid the way I'm thinking, you know. I'm sorry for if somebody feel offended with this, but if you agree somehow, you please leave in the comments below. I will read lovely and I will reply. But it's like, you know, do you prefer die quickly, like, or do you prefer die slowly, you know? I think some people might think like, man, I prefer die quickly, man, than die slowly, man. Like you feel like every inch of pain in your body, you know, like every inch, like every single centimeter of pain in your body, man. In every second, you know. Do you prefer this, or prefer just like, man, hit me fucking bomb and, you know, take me out of misery? And sometimes I feel like Brazil is just like this, you know, like you just like, you have this sense of, you know, happiness, but comes something like it just hit you in the fucking guts, like, and you feel bad and try to recover, and after a while you forget of the punch in the stomach, and when you start to feel good again, you get another hit, man. Sometimes worse, sometimes take you down for a long period. So like, yeah, man, just like this, guys. I think I'm finished up here already, you know, 2 hours long. I supposed to finish before this. Maybe I take like a second round and finish that list there, but I think you guys got the point, you know. And like, I know a lot of you guys might say, no, it's not that bad. Like, I'm Brazilian, it's not that bad. And like, I've been overseas, that is not that good. In my opinion, when the guys think that way, is because he lives very well in Brazil, you know, so he has no sense of like lower class, like he lives in a bubble where the rich people are. He doesn't have to take a bus, like the car, like but even though this, he's still in dangers, and he knows. But because he going only to the, you know, security places, so that short the amount of possibility to get robbed or get like killed, you know. So very biased. And for the people, they say like, I've been to like US, and I do that like exchange program in the US or in Australia, and didn't like it as much. I don't think it's very different. It's because, or they went to a very short period of time, because in my opinion, you got to live at least a year there, and you have to live like the life. Not like live like you know, the same way you live in Brazil, like rent a house and live, and you know, have to go to work, you have to get a bus, you know, have to, you know, and feel the life, you know, like. And some of these people that didn't like living in Australia, or maybe in US, or maybe in Europe, because they had a very comfortable life in Brazil. Overseas, they had to maybe share a room, or maybe share a house with somebody else, maybe with different culture they didn't like, you know. Because a lot of these people, they can adapt. They cannot adapt. They are very comfortable with that. The Brazilian, well, like rich or well-lived lifestyle, you know, in my mom's house, and you know, with, you know, don't have to share with anybody, you know, have someone to clean my clothing, you know, and I can speak, you know, to everybody because everyone understand me. So some people, you see, that's my opinion, you know. That's my opinion, you know. But anyway, guys, I appreciate so much for you guys that are watching that long. Hope the conversation wasn't so, down, because my energy already got a bit low because it's already almost 3 in the morning. And maybe I get back to this topic. But guys, I will appreciate so much if you guys hit the like button, helping me subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button to get the notifications, and check out the Papi La Vida website. Support this channel, because I want to do a vlog, maybe in Brazil. Probably in Brazil I will do, but maybe around the world. And I like to communicate. I'm very funny in the daytime. And well, yeah, it's been hard, very hard. There been, so many things going on. But anyway, guys, I appreciate for you guys. I want you to listen to the podcast. Please check it out on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, all audio platforms, Deezer. Look for Papi La Vida in English, because there is Papi La Vida in English, there is Papi La Vida, which is in Portuguese, and there is Papi La Vida in Espanol. So choose which language you want to learn, want to see the conversation. Sometimes the conversation might be the same, sometimes it's going to be different. And once more about on Tuesdays, 11 p.m. today, a bit late because I was watching a TV show with my sister. And Thursdays, 8 p.m. Brazilian time, Spanish. Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in Portuguese, 8 p.m. Brazilian time. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate a lot. Sorry, I'm very tired and sleepy as well. And I hope see you in the next Papi La Vida show. Thank you very much and hasta luego.
Papi. Me encanta.